You think Mark Zuckerberg sat in a room plotting ways to hurt Black America? He didn't have to. Facebook built something far more dangerous than hatred. It built a machine that turns human division into profit. And when that machine needed fuel, Black communities became the kindling. Housing discrimination delivered through code. Misinformation campaigns that spread faster in our neighborhoods than anywhere else. An algorithm that decided who gets to see a job posting and who doesn't. No burning crosses, no segregation signs. Just quiet, efficient inequality at the speed of a click. And while we argued about whether tech could be racist, Facebook was already running the largest discrimination operation in American history. By the end of this, you'll see exactly how a platform that claims to connect people became one of the most effective tools for keeping Black folks locked out. Let's dive in. 2016. Facebook is everywhere. Your aunt is on it. Your church is on it. Your cousin who never calls is definitely on it. The platform has 2 billion users, and its advertising system has become the most powerful marketing tool ever created. You can target ads to almost anyone based on age, location, interests, and dozens of other categories. Landlords use it to find tenants. Employers use it to find workers. Banks use it to find customers. And here's where it gets ugly. Because Facebook also let advertisers exclude people by race. Not officially, of course. The platform didn't have a checkbox that said, "No Black people." But it had something just as effective. It had categories like ethnic affinity. If Facebook's algorithm decided you were interested in African American culture, based on the pages you liked or the posts you shared, you got tagged. And once you were tagged, advertisers could make sure you never saw their ads. A landlord in a white neighborhood could show his apartment listing to everyone except people Facebook labeled as Black. An employer could promote a job opening to everyone except people the algorithm decided were African American. A bank could advertise low-interest loans to white users while steering Black users toward higher-rate options. All of it legal under Facebook's terms. All of it invisible to the people being excluded. ProPublica, an investigative news organization, exposed this in 2016. Reporters ran a test. They paid Facebook to promote housing ads while excluding users based on ethnic affinity categories. Facebook approved every single one. The platform system let them exclude African Americans, Asian Americans, and Hispanic users from seeing housing ads. This wasn't a glitch. This was a feature. Facebook had built a tool that allowed digital redlining, and landlords, employers, and lenders across the country were using it. For decades, redlining was the weapon that kept Black families out of home ownership and wealth building. Banks would literally draw red lines on maps around Black neighborhoods and refuse to give loans to anyone inside those boundaries. It was illegal, obvious, and brutal. Then the Fair Housing Act of 1968 came along and said you can't do that anymore. You can't discriminate based on race in housing, employment, or credit. But laws only work if people can see the crime. Facebook made discrimination invisible. An algorithm did the excluding. No human had to admit to being racist. No paper trail. No red lines on a map. Just code quietly deciding who gets opportunity and who gets shut out. And this is exactly how modern inequality operates. Hold that thought for a second. By the way, if you want more hidden stories like this, subscribe to Black Stories Untold. Now, back to the video. After ProPublica's investigation went public, Facebook said all the right things. They called it a mistake. They promised to fix it. They said their platform was built to bring people together, not divide them. Mark Zuckerberg himself went on an apology tour, talking about connection and community. But here's what they didn't do. They didn't stop it. Even after the story blew up, civil rights groups found that Facebook's ad system still allowed discriminatory targeting. In 2017, a year after the first expose, reporters ran the same test again. Facebook still approved housing ads that excluded Black users. In 2018, the National Fair Housing Alliance and other civil rights organizations filed a federal lawsuit. Facebook finally settled in 2019, agreeing to eliminate ethnic affinity targeting and create a separate system for housing, employment, and credit ads with fewer targeting options. They paid no fine. No executive went to jail. They just agreed to stop doing the thing they said they weren't doing in the first place. But the damage was already done. For at least 3 years after it became public knowledge, Facebook allowed advertisers to run millions of discriminatory ads. How many black families never saw an apartment listing in a better neighborhood? How many never saw a job posting that could have changed their lives? How many were steered toward predatory loans instead of fair ones? Facebook didn't track that. They tracked clicks, revenue, and engagement. That's it. But housing discrimination was only one piece of the puzzle. What they did next would reach even deeper into black communities. Because while Facebook was letting advertisers exclude us, its algorithm was deciding what we did get to see. And what it showed us over and over was lies. Facebook's entire business model runs on one simple rule. The longer you stay on the platform, the more ads they can show you. The more ads they show you, the more money they make. So the algorithm learned to show people content that keeps them scrolling. And nothing keeps people scrolling like outrage. A post that makes you angry gets more comments than a post that makes you smile. A conspiracy theory gets shared faster than a fact. A story about betrayal spreads wider than a story about hope. The algorithm didn't care whether something was true. It only cared whether it worked. And in black communities, where trust in institutions was already low because of centuries of real betrayal, misinformation worked incredibly well. Take the 2016 election. Russian operatives created fake Facebook pages pretending to be black activist groups. They posted memes about police violence, voter suppression, and political corruption. Some of the posts were true, some were exaggerated, some were complete lies. It didn't matter. The goal wasn't truth. The goal was to make black voters so angry, so exhausted, so disgusted with the system that they wouldn't show up to vote at all. One fake page called Blacktivist had more followers than the real Black Lives Matter page. It posted videos of police violence alongside messages saying the system would never change and voting was pointless. Millions of black users saw that content. Many believed it. Many shared it. Some stayed home on election day. Facebook knew this was happening. Internal reports showed that foreign operatives were running coordinated misinformation campaigns targeting black Americans. The company did almost nothing to stop it until after the election was over. Why? Because those posts got incredible engagement. They were making Facebook money. And it didn't stop after 2016. During the 2020 protests following the killing of a black man by police, Facebook's algorithm amplified the most extreme content on all sides. Pages spreading false information about protesters got boosted because they generated outrage. Posts claiming entire cities were burning got millions of views even though they showed footage from different countries or different years. White power advocate groups used Facebook to organize counter-protests, some of which turned violent. The algorithm didn't care. It just kept pushing whatever kept people engaged. Facebook's own researchers found that the platform's recommendation system was actively promoting content that divided people along racial lines. One internal report said the algorithm was leading users toward more and more extreme communities, and that ethnic and racial violence was being amplified. Executives were warned. They did nothing. Stopping it would mean less engagement. Less engagement meant less money. Here's where everything connects. Facebook didn't need a racist CEO. It didn't need a board of directors sitting around saying, "Let's hurt black people." All it needed was a system designed to maximize profit through engagement. Once that system was built, discrimination happened automatically. The ad platform let landlords exclude black users because excluding people made ads more targeted. And targeted ads cost more money. The algorithm amplified misinformation in black communities because outrage and conspiracy theories got more clicks than facts. And more clicks meant more ad revenue. The recommendation system pushed people toward extremist content because extreme content kept users on the platform longer. And longer sessions meant more money. Every single harm came back to the same root cause. Facebook built a machine that turned human division into profit. And when you build a machine like that, black communities will always be the first to suffer. Why? Because we've always been the easiest target. Centuries of real oppression make people more likely to believe new oppression is happening. Decades of being ignored by institutions make people more likely to distrust official sources. Generations of economic exclusion make people more desperate for opportunities, which makes them more vulnerable to scams and predatory schemes. Facebook's algorithm didn't create any of that. It just weaponized it. And the scale of this is almost impossible to grasp. Redlining in the 1960s destroyed generational wealth for millions of black families. But redlining required physical banks, physical loan officers, physical paperwork. It was slow. Facebook's version was instant and infinite. One discriminatory ad could exclude hundreds of thousands of black users in a single day. One piece of misinformation could reach millions of people in an hour. One algorithm could make 10,000 individual decisions about who sees opportunity and who doesn't, all without a single human being involved. This wasn't just digital redlining. It was redlining at the speed of light, scaled across the entire country, touching every part of life where Facebook's platform reached. Housing, jobs, credit, news, political information, social movements, all of it filtered through a system that prioritized profit over fairness. And the people running that system acted surprised every single time someone pointed out the damage. Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress in 2018. Lawmakers asked him if Facebook was discriminating against black users. He said he wasn't aware of any such issues, even though his own company had already settled lawsuits about it. He said Facebook was committed to civil rights, even though internal reports showed his executives ignored warnings about racial violence being amplified on the platform. He said the algorithm was neutral, even though neutrality is impossible when the system is designed to optimize for engagement, and engagement is driven by human emotion, including fear, anger, and prejudice. Neutrality was the excuse, profit was the motive, and Black America paid the price. This is the modern villain, not a person who hates you, not a group burning crosses, not a politician passing segregation laws. It's a system that doesn't care about you at all. A system that sees you as data, as engagement metrics, as ad impressions. A system that will absolutely destroy your community if destruction is profitable, and will apologize afterward while continuing to do the exact same thing. Facebook wasn't unique in this. It was just the biggest and most efficient. Every platform that makes money from engagement has the same incentives. Every algorithm that recommends content has the same blind spots. Every company that prioritizes growth over responsibility will make the same choice Facebook made. They'll let the harm happen because stopping it costs money. And when you're a company worth hundreds of billions of dollars, a lawsuit or a settlement is just the cost of doing business. The Facebook files, a massive leak of internal documents in 2021, confirmed what many people already suspected. The company knew its platform was being used to spread hate. It knew the algorithm amplified extreme content. It knew that changes to make the platform safer would reduce engagement. Executives chose engagement every single time. One internal report showed that Facebook's algorithm changes in 2018, designed to promote more meaningful social interactions, actually made political polarization worse. The company knew this. They saw the data. They kept the changes anyway because users were spending more time on the platform. Another report found that Facebook was failing to remove content that violated its own policies in countries where ethnic violence was a real threat. The company had the tools to stop it. They didn't allocate enough resources because those countries weren't big advertising markets. Profit decided who got protected and who didn't. And Black communities weren't just victims of Facebook's negligence. We were also victims of its active choices. When civil rights groups asked Facebook to do more to protect Black users from hate content, the company said it was complicated. When researchers showed that the ad system was enabling housing discrimination, Facebook said it was a mistake. When internal employees flagged that misinformation was spreading faster in Black communities, executives said they needed more data. Every time, the response was delay, downplay, and deny. Meanwhile, the machine kept running. The ads kept excluding. The misinformation kept spreading. The algorithm kept amplifying division. And the money kept rolling in. In 2020, the year of the protests, the year misinformation about race flooded the platform, Facebook made over $86 billion. Not revenue, profit. $86 billion while the country was tearing itself apart and their platform was pouring gasoline on the fire. This is what systemic inequality looks like in the digital age. It's not a mob with torches. It's a line of code. It's not a speech full of slurs. It's an algorithm that doesn't need to hate anyone to cause harm. It just needs to be designed for profit in a world that's already unequal. And when you deploy that kind of system at scale, across billions of users, the inequality doesn't just continue, it accelerates. It becomes automated, invisible, and nearly impossible to fight. Because how do you protest an algorithm? How do you boycott a system that's embedded in nearly every part of modern life? How do you hold anyone accountable when the harm is distributed across millions of individual decisions made by a machine? Facebook knew all of this, and they built it anyway. This was Black Stories Untold. And as always, thanks for watching. If you want more stories like this, click the video on your screen now.